Hey everyone, welcome back. In this time, I'm going to be talking a little bit about some of the cheaper cash cow hookers in the game. So, going to be four guys today. We've got Wade Eagan, Jacob Little, Connor Watson, and Jaden Braley in there. So, I'm going to start with Wade Eagan. Obviously, we're pretty far out from the season at this stage, so a little bit of this is going to be speculation. With Wade Eagan, he has an injury to Carl Lawton, who took a little bit of time last year. As we look at the stats here, played the majority of the games, but just depended where he was from. Obviously, there's a few games there where he's in at starting hooker, which we can see in these ones here. So for those four that he played 80 minutes, we have a 38 with no attacking stats, just with 43 tackles there. We have a 44 with no attacking stats. Okay, we've got a 70 with a try assist line break, with the try as well. So obviously a big attacking stat game, and then 40. So looking at this, I'm going to expect a 40 average, right? Will he play 80 minutes? That's the question. He has done it a few times, which is good signs, right? But you do have someone like Jazz Tavanga who's a chance of playing. He has in the past. Last year he didn't play it as much. They chose to use him as more of a 13 for sort of that 50 to 60 minute mark. But at Wade Eagan's price right now of 440, he is priced to his average of approximately 32, having played the whole year. So if you can see him playing 80 minutes and getting 40, then he's going to be 100k undervalued. But if there's a chance that you don't think he's going to play the 80, then that could cause a little bit of an issue. And it's kind of like, I've brought in a guy that's 440k and not scoring amazingly. Like he might score in the 30s, for example, with the odd game of getting some attacking stats. But there's also the chance that he stays around that price, and he kind of just wasted a spot there for a guy that you could have spent maybe 100 or 200k less on as your cash cow cheapie and made a little bit more money. So that's my thoughts on Eagan at the moment. Like he's not someone that with most hookers they're tackling and they're getting out of dummy half, getting 50 plus meters, with a few more attacking stats. Where like he scored 2 tries on the season and four tries this there if you're following along. But yeah, he's not one of those guys that scores big points as a hooker. When you look at some of the guys we spoke about in the last video, they just do a bit of everything, which gets them to that 45 to 50. You can see he's got 2 scores over that. He's got a 47 and a 70 that you would say would you class as really good scores. So my thoughts on him, I'd say he's a no at this stage, but obviously we'll find out more come closer to the season. Moving on to Jacob Little. So interesting one with him. Someone that does really score well when he plays big minutes, which we'll see here. So when he first played last season, around 14 and 15, he was a starting hooker, played 60 minutes across both games, and got 54 and 51. First game's the more promising one, given the fact that he made 44 tackles with only 1 miss. Okay, so when Little plays as well, he does like to run out of dummy half, as you can see through the numbers here. A lot of the games where even playing 40, 50 minutes, he's averaging 50 plus meters game, which gives him those chance for the tackle bust, the offloads there. So there's 2 good ones there, and you can see that his point per minute is fairly good there. You obviously got 22 off 18, 19 off 18, a couple of lower ones here. But when he does play the bigger minutes, he does score it at a decent clip, right? 33 off 37. And for his price point at 304, based on average price in the mid-20s, he's someone to me has a little bit more upside, especially if he's going to get that starting role, which it looks like at this stage he will. But as we're saying, guys, we're not sure where he'll be at, given it's we're still 6 weeks out from the season. But at this stage, he's definitely going to be in my team, and we'll just wait to see how we go over the next 6 weeks. But at 304 is very close to basement price, and you just have that less risk that you do with Wade Eagan in my opinion there. We'll go to Connor Watson now. Alrighty, I just wanted to jump over to their updated sort of team list predictions there. I said last year he was off the interchange bench. Obviously, they got Kurtman and Piercy there as starters, and that's going to be the same this year. He played that more of a lock roving role, and it looks like he'll play the same thing there. So they've got all the big boys on the bench there. So you could see that if there was an injury, Watson would come on and replace that in the backs especially. But if not, he's just going to come and play that roving role again. And I think that is a decent thing. Only worry is his minutes. So you can see what happened the first two games last year. 42 minutes for 34 and then 49 minutes for 58 with a try in there. So if he comes on, he's making some more tackles. Had the 4 misses in one of them and the 1 miss in the other. So you can, let's just say we can expect an average of 2 to 3 per game. But does actually score well, and at that price of 323, he only has to score in the mid-30s to make some good cash. If he can get close to 40, even better. He does have the dual position as well with the hooker and the mid. It's hard to look back at the rest of his scores and make a comparison because he's playing a different role, but you can see that him in obviously in a hooking role, playing in that middle, he's someone that does make a lot of tackles. He's up over 40 in each of those games. He's someone that he likes to make a bunch of tackles. He's got a few games back here off the interchange bench, where he's got 54 minutes for 57, 40 minutes for 43, and then he's back basically playing everywhere over the first few years of his career. So someone that's interesting to me, and I think I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer before I decide to bring him into my squad. But he's definitely, I also think, possibly a better fit than Wade Eagan is, even if he's going to get more minutes. You can see he's scored well within 40 to 50 minutes, and he's going to see a price bump just from those minutes alone. So if he gets any more, if there's a chance to go into the starting side at some point, there's a little bit of upside there with Watson. And moving along to Mr. Braley for our last one. So he comes off an injury. Only got to play the first 2 games of the season, unfortunately, last year, but has got the 80 minutes in both. So since moving to the Knights, they were looking to use him as an 80-minute hooker, and that's what they did. And it looks like they'll probably do the same thing this year. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But someone that he's obviously young. He's played 4 years now, but he's still growing into his role, and he's someone at the moment just makes the tackles, gets a few meters, and not too big on the attacking stats. You can see over the last couple of years, just the 1 try and a couple of try assists. So with Braley, you're getting someone that will average around 40 at around a 30 price point. So if he can average close to 40 there, which is expected in an 80-minute role, with a chance of some upside if he does get some attacking stats and improves off his past years, then he's at least over a 500k player. So he should be making 100 to 200k on him from that position. So my thoughts at the moment, I'll be putting him in my team. But again, we'll have to wait and see what they do. So Tex Hoy is currently looks like he'll be taking the fullback spot for the start of the season. They also have Blake Green, who's out for now with his ACL. We have guys like Phoenix Crossland who played on the bench last year that are a chance of coming on and possibly taking a few minutes. These kind of guys that happened last year. They obviously had a lot of injuries. All things to think about. Obviously having Watson and Braley, talking about them in this section. There's a few things to think about, but at the moment, guys, I think that a few of these are really good to have in your squad. We've looked back in the past, having these type of guys on your bench playing as scorers as well is going to be a lot better than trying to use a center or a fullback on your bench for a scorer, especially. And a lot of the time we bring in, let's look at like Braden Williami from last year. We bring him in and he kind of stinks it up for a little bit. He gets a random 30 or 40 and then he's just sitting on your bench and you want to get rid of him the whole time. Whereas these guys, they've pretty much got their spot locked up in their team and should at least provide you with some decent scoring with a chance of some upside. So these are the type of guys you want to be looking at getting in your squad, especially early on. hopefully they go well at the start, and you can cash them out for 100 or 200k more as you go down the line. But that's my thoughts on the cheapy hookers. I hope that gives you a nice little snapshot of the entire hooker position. Obviously a bit smaller than a lot of the others with less guys to choose from, but I still think there's a lot of options. You have some captaincy options up top with McInnes, for example, Harry Grant and Cook, and then you've the mids, not too much there, and then these cheaper guys that can round it out. So I'd personally be looking to probably have 3 hookers. I'm thinking maybe 2 of these guys, depending on how it shakes out, and then one of the big dogs. So probably a Cam McInnes as captain, for example. That's my thoughts at the moment, and then 1 or 2 of them being dual position, which is going to help with the other sections there. But yeah, that's about all for this one, guys. I hope you're enjoying it. Please leave a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and we'll see you in the next one, guys.